Hey everyone, thanks for checking in to the channel. This is Trey with Slide Squad. In today's episode, I just want to go over some basic stuff. Well, basically, one of my favorite chassis at the moment, which is the GRK NOB by Shibata, the team that I'm sponsored by. I do have some electronics I want to go over. We're going to head over to my desk, get an overhead view of everything, and I won't bore you guys or get you guys. Now, with that being said, I won't put my fat fingers all through the video. I have my handy dandy pointer right here that I'll be using. So let's head over to the desk and see what we get. Okay, everyone, we're back on the desk. I just want to point out a few of the option parts I put onto my builds and the reasoning why. First, I do want to point out this little guy, which is the towel. This is very handy in not only accessing certain parameters in the ESC that you cannot connect via S.Bus wise through your transmitter. Not only does it allow you to do that, but you can back up and store certain tunes from various ESCs, which we're going to be on different chassis and whatnot. So if you don't have a towel, I highly suggest getting one. This guy has saved me more times than not. Yeah, it comes in handy. So again, I really love the towel that's provided by Acuvance. So starting from right to left, we have the Postmaster. The Postmaster, in my opinion, kind of gives you the feeling of drag brake natively within the ESC. So you don't have to add drag on the ESC, in my opinion. The Postmaster helps with finding that lower wheel speed on the lower end when you're driving, and it modulates it for you a little bit. This isn't the end all be all. It's not going to save your car if you have some weird tune on there or anything like that. But that's one of the accessories I do like. Next, we have the blaze cap. The blaze cap helps protect your ESC. Basically, it protects one of the biggest investments you have on your car. If you reverse polarity, we've all done that. I've done that myself. No one's perfect. But it helps with the power delivery as well. Next is the S.Bus link. This guy is the regular S.Bus. There is a version with the S.Bus towel, which has another lead coming off of it, so you could jump into the S.Bus via the towel. This one does not. This is the original one. All my vehicles have this to utilize using wireless programming per se through Futaba, and this is a must. Now we have these other caps here. We have the trace Bector, which I just swapped out onto my Nob. I usually run the trace for my actual receiver. So the trace Bector replaced my trace because it gave me another lead that I was able to jump into for my fan. Both of these are good. I like to have them on my receivers to cut down any frequency or unwanted noise that the receiver might pick up. Now you're asking like when that might happen. If you ever gone to Super G Worlds, SDC, there are plenty of people on the track per se. Let's just say there's 30 drivers on the track. Then you have cell phones, you have people with headphones, you have audio equipment going, you have video equipment going. It's a pretty big event. So you kind of want to keep your electronics clean, and this is one way of doing it, again, in my opinion. Next, as far as the servo, the trusty CD700. If you guys see me around or if you follow me on social media, I recently was testing out some different electronics and it was the Rev D RSST Pro and the Revox. Now, I do like that system a lot, but ultimately what ended up happening is I fell back in love with the feeling that Futaba provided me when it came to tuning and driving my car. So ultimately I made the switch back. So all my cars, it's the Futaba system. Even to the point where, as you see, I have some spares over here. These were my CT 701s. I ended up replacing these guys with CDs, and here's one of my spare CDs. So that's the electronics that I normally run. Now let's bring into the ESC. Again, Xarvis XX. There is the RAD. I like the Xarvis XX because it gives you all the parameters and all the features. Again, that's just one thing I've jumped. When I went to Acuvance, I jumped straight to the XX, and I haven't looked at any other ESC since then. That's been about 4 years now. Next, which is probably my favorite motor, is the Agile. This one is a 13.5. I'm currently on a 10.5, which is cool about these motors. You can switch out the rotors for a different feel, and the cogginess is set on the levels of the rotors. I believe right now I'm on a 10.5 with level 42 rotor for the Agile. That's a torque rotor, and I've been loving that feeling. I've been loving the low end grunt it gives me on the 10.5, but then I still have the native top end speed from a 10.5, which is cool. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Next, we have the new kid on the block, the Merv Era. The Merv Era, I did have it in my GRK5R for a minute. It was working good, but then I really started noticing that low end power, that low end torque that this 380 can just, you could push it and it could pop, but a regular 540 can is just gonna have the torque that I was looking for. So I do plan on getting an Addiction RX01. I do plan on putting this guy in here. It was made specifically for this motor. So I will be driving with the Merv Era hopefully soon. So those are the Acuvance electronics and components that I use along with Futaba. One thing I forgot to mention is with the CD, I use the GYD 550. I recently just jumped to the 560. Either one of those gyros will get the job done. They're phenomenal gyros. I do look forward to acquiring another 560 here for my other car. The 560 is currently in my Nob. So we're gonna move this all out the way and get the chassis back on. So, alrighty guys, we got the cars back on the desk. And again, we're gonna primarily be talking about the Nob. I will touch on the differences of the Nob compared to the GRK5R and also its similarities. So, but first, we got to get the bodies off. So, let me do that. Alrighty guys, we're back and we have the GRK5R and the GRK NOB. I'm gonna be removing the 5R off the desk so we could pay attention and just kind of dig into the Nob. Let me do that right now. Alrighty guys, we have the Nob on the desk, and I would like to go over the upgrades that I've done for the Nob. First, we're gonna point out the GRK5 slide rack that's installed. Up front, we have the Y knuckles. That's for a GRK5 as well. The servo position is achieved by using the Shibata servo mounts. You have one going out the right side and one coming out the left side. And these are the mounting positions here, okay? Also, you guys are probably screaming out the elephant in the room. As far as my dampers, I have installed some nerds. This is not something you need to do. This is something I want to do because I believe in the future. For me, I'm going to be traveling with this vehicle. I do travel outside of the country to other countries. I do travel outside of the states as well, or I shouldn't say out of the states. I travel amongst other states to drive other tracks and hang out with friends across the country. Moving back to the electronics again, CD701, GYD 560. Actually, I'm sorry guys, I didn't introduce you to this little guy. This is Lil Trey, but Little Trey is in the way, so guess what? We're gonna kick Lil Trey out. Let's do that. Now that we got Lil Trey off, we could kick Lil Trey out of here. Cool, he's gone. Again, going over electronics, we got the Trace Bector, we have a Futaba receiver, Acuvance S.Bus. This is a 10.5 Agile. If you're wondering what color this is a silver mist. I forgot how sought after this color was. It's discontinued for you guys that might not know, but Acuvance does not make this color or offer the Agile in this color anymore. So if you see this, just know this is kind of a done deal. There's not many floating around out there anymore. Moving forward, we have a Shibata fan and keep this guy cool. Heading toward the rear, again, Xarvis XX with a Postmaster and a Blaze. Now, as far as upgrades, I did change out the rear diffuser for an aluminum bumper from Scale Reflex. Again, that was done because I wanted to kind of protect my fan. A lot of people don't even know that there's a fan under here, but it is under. My ESC is mounted slightly different than you would say because the ESC is facing forward, but it's tucked under nicely. And then if I do get any rear engagement, stuff will bounce off the cap. Hopefully it's nothing crazy, but the fan won't get hit or moved since it's only secured on there by double-sided tape. So that's that. Now, let me see if I can get both cars in the frame. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. The rear arms are Shibata H arms. These are the version 1 hubs. They're not the stock GRK5 hubs. These are the upgraded ones. And pretty much that's it as far as the upgrades, along with the widened suspension blocks. But that's not really, that's just more of a preference. That's not really an upgrade. You can have short or long. I prefer the long because I like shorter arms. And the diff case is still plastic. I love the plastic diff case. In my opinion, it's smoother than the aluminum one. The aluminum one has chatter. It's metal on metal. There's nothing that's softening that vibration when it's aluminum on aluminum. I feel like the plastic diff case does that for me. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty basic. Now, let's get the GRK5R up here and compare the two. Oh, hit the camera. Sorry, guys. So, see if I can slide the 5R in frame. Let's see what we can do. All right, that's pretty good. That'll do. Now, if you guys are excited about the new 5R that's coming out, that's HRP, that's Hayato's signature 5R. I will say, if you're looking to get a 5R and you did not acquire one, I know there's some pre-orders and things of that such, Shibata's gonna do its best to do, or try to get as many of those orders fulfilled and see where the community is at as far as purchasing those cars, and hopefully there is another run. With that being said, if you don't have a 5R, that will be the 5R to get because you get all the upgraded things that is for the 5R. With that being said, the differences between the NOB and this 5R is pretty much this upper arm, situation that came from the GS2, right? Other than that, everything else is pretty much in line with the 5R coming from the node to the 5R. So if you're getting the HRP, I believe the bulkhead is similar. You get the newer bulkhead, and if you look, there is some aluminum that's missing here, unlike the 5 or the 5R. That will allow you to have this floating upper arm pin where it eliminates you to have a pass-through pin that's connected to the rear upper suspension pin and the shock tower. The GS2 utilizes that as well, but again, you could remove this and use that floating pin with the aluminum arm that the HRP kit comes standard with. Some guys have done that. They utilize that and they like it. I didn't really see a need to. Call me old school. Again, this is preference. But other than that, on this car, this is pretty much the only thing that's GS2. You can say the mounting holes for the servos, yeah, but I will argue it's pretty much the same in the sense that it's in the same position. One is you mount it upside down on the 5Rs, and you do not on the node. Now the GS2 Evo gave you that option. But again, it's more about the positioning of the servo to engage with that GRK5 slide rack. So again, the fronts are pretty identical. When we get to the rear, now, if we didn't have the 5R conversion, let's say we had the original layout, the motor will be on the left side of the chassis, laid down with the battery on the right side. Pretty much at the bottom end of both these chassis, they're the same until you get to the 5R conversion. I am running a GS2 diff case. Like I said, I like that diff case over the aluminum one. So those are the same. When you go to the shock towers, the positioning are the same. Only difference is with this guy, it's the blue aluminum one, which is newer. It does have some more mounting positions, I think, over the older carbon one. But again, the pass-through for the electronics and for the 5R to be, or actually the motor to be mounted to the rear position, it's utilizing the same footprint, okay? As you guys can see, my ESCs are mounted the same. Only difference is I have a little bit more room for my fan. Actually, nope, excuse me. I don't even run a fan on here. This was my competition car, and that's the reason why I didn't run a fan. I was trying to cut down on the weight. I'm not doing mad laps with this guy. It was more for comp. I do have a fan for the motor. Again, they're in different positions, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. Gear diff in both. I have active toe here. I have H arms here. Again, it's a different philosophy, different approach. Active toe, zero toe. Again, each car is however you want to set it up. I wanted to go with the HR setup. I'm actually loving this setup. Again, it's a little bit more simpler. You don't have to worry about measuring the turnbuckles and how much toe in you want and things like that. This is kind of more of a straightforward situation. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. I think it's time for us to head back up. We'll give these guys a break and we'll close this video out. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for swinging by and checking out some of my cars. I would like to give a shout out and big thank you to my sponsors, Shibata, Acuvance, Addiction, and thank you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and follow. Hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. It lets me know the engagement. And I will link my social media accounts so you can follow me there. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. I'm always willing to help out. This stuff really excites me. And again, just want to say thank you. But first, I got to go throw Trey back in the car. Little Trey. Alrighty. Bye, guys.